The invisible tax, how your time is being stolen. What do you see today when you look at your personal bank account? A saved amount of money or the upcoming bills that you are forced to pay? Actually, what you see there is neither. What you see in your bank account are the pieces of your life that will never come back. For example, if someone came and stole the jewelry in your house, you would set the world on fire, wouldn't you? But every day, without you even noticing, the system enters your pocket, steals the hours you spent to earn that jewelry, and you settle for merely calling it inflation. But when you change your perspective, you see this. The greatest robbery in history is not being committed against your pocket, but against your calendar. If you can only buy something today in 5 hours that you could buy 10 years ago with the wages of 1 hour of labor, it means the system has silently, without you noticing, nationalized 4 hours of your life. Today, together, we will unmask this invisible tax. Get ready, because after this video, every time you look at your watch, you will realize you are staring at a thief who is stealing the leaves of your calendar one by one. Part 1. Introduction. Anatomy of the Great Illusion. Every morning when the alarm goes off, you aren't just waking up to an ordinary workday. You are participating in a secret auction. The commodity up for sale in this auction is the rarest resource on the planet, your own lifespan. Most of us think we are free in today's modern world. We think we make our own decisions without being dependent on anyone, buying whatever we want. But in a world where the money in our pockets is eroding every day due to inflation, we fail to realize that our time capital is being systematically nationalized by the system. If someone stole $100 from your wallet, you would go to the police immediately. But what if the system silently takes the value of the 5 hours you spent earning that $100 without your permission? In this video, we will prove to you that inflation is not just an economic data point, but actually the most organized time theft in human history. Get ready, because after this video, every time you look at your watch, you will no longer see just numbers, but your stolen life. Part 2. The secret identity of money. Stored life energy. You think you understand what money is, but unfortunately, you are wrong. Pieces of paper, metal coins, or pixels in your banking app. Is that all, do you think? These are just masks. The true identity of money is this. It is time transformed into physical form. Think about it. A carpenter makes a table after long efforts. He spends nearly 10 hours making that table. The money he receives when he sells the table is in fact a canned version of those 10 hours. When he puts that money in his pocket, he preserves the right to buy 10 hours of someone else's labor in the future. As a result, he will purchase something too. This is why money is sacred, because it is your past. It is your sweat. Perhaps it is those long hours you spent away from your family. If the money is not sound, the lid of that time can is leaking. The $5 you will pay to buy a coffee today is a 20-minute piece of life for a youth working for minimum wage. While sipping that coffee, as it were, that youth is actually drinking 20 minutes of his life. The system, which constantly manages our lives and our time, throws that youth's life minutes into the trash every time it devalues money. Part 3. Inflation, the silent destruction of the past. In economic news, we are told that inflation is 10%, 20%, or 50%. These numbers feel cold and technical to you. But let's translate this into time language. Actually, 10% inflation means that your 100 days of labor sitting in the bank at the beginning of the year drops to 90 days by the end of the year. While you are sleeping without permission or even an explanation, the system goes into your past and erases 10 days from your calendar. This is a secret tax, but it hasn't been voted on in parliament. This is a robbery, but no one goes to jail. Do you remember the old days? In the 1970s, a father could buy a house, educate his children, and retire on a single salary. Today, in current conditions, even two parents working full-time can barely make ends meet. Am I wrong? And why do you think that is? Have people become lazy? No. Has technology regressed? On the contrary. The reason is this. The time density within money has been diluted. Now you have to sacrifice 5 times more lifespan to purchase the same house. This is the mathematical proof that the modern human is 5 times more enslaved compared to the past. Part 4. The architectural masterpiece of modern slavery. Let's decrypt this time thief called inflation a bit more. Slave owners in history made a mistake. They put chains around the slaves' necks. As a result, this caused the slave to know he was a slave and to rebel. The modern system, however, found a much more ingenious method, the chain of consumption and debt. Today, no one drives you to the fields by forcing you with a whip, because there is no need for that. The system traps you in such a standard of living and such a desire for status that you run to the fields of your own accord. Social media shows you the person you should be. To be like that person in your dreams, you need money, and for money, you need time. Consequently, you get up in the early hours of the morning, get into traffic, and go to jobs you hate. You sell your own time to build someone else's dreams. In modern slavery, your master is not a person, but a lifestyle cost. Your chain is not around your neck, but on your credit card statement. Isn't it pathetic? Now let's stop right here. You dear viewers, aren't these feelings you have right now actually the truths you've been harboring for years but couldn't name? Do you feel yourselves inside those invisible chains? Or do you say, life is just like this, you're exaggerating? I'm truly curious about your opinion. Don't you think something is wrong too? Come on, stop the video now and let's discuss it honestly below. Which one is your chain? Part 5. The Cantillon effect, the parasite inside the system. So, where does this stolen time go? You might be wondering. Time doesn't disappear, it just changes hands. This is where the Cantillon effect comes into play. In the 18th century, Richard Cantillon discovered this. Whoever gets access to newly printed money first gets richer. When central banks print money, this money goes to governments and giant banks first. They use this fresh cash to buy assets, stocks, real estate, gold, before prices have a chance to rise. By the time the money finally reaches you, the salaried employee, inflation has already sent the price of everything sky high. When you get that money, its purchasing power has already dwindled to nothing. This is history's greatest Ponzi scheme. Those at the very top, just by pressing the print money button, have already stolen the genuine sweat and time of those at the bottom, meaning you. The harder you work, the more the pool above fills up. Part 6. Debt mortgaging the future. If inflation steals your past, debt holds your unlived future hostage. When you have to use a home loan, mortgage, what are you actually doing? The bank gives you a certain amount of numbers today. In return, they ask you to swear an oath that you will work for them for the first 15 days of every month for the next 30 years. In other words, they take you hostage. During those 30 years, you don't have the luxury of getting sick. You don't have the freedom to chase your dreams. You don't have the courage to resign. You have to work, because those 3,600 days in your future no longer belong to you. They belong to the bank. Debt is sacrificing your future freedom for an item today by time traveling. Don't you think so? Have you ever thought about it? The system is always built on debt because a person in debt is an obedient person. A person in debt doesn't ask questions, they just work. Part 7. Consumer psychology, the dopamine cage. Now let's ask ourselves a question. Why can't we get out of this system? Because our biology blatantly betrays us. The system uses the dopamine loop in our brains as a weapon. A new phone, a luxury watch, a fast car, or a nice house. When you buy these, your brain experiences a short-term burst of happiness. But this happiness eventually falls into a pit called hedonic adaptation. A month later, that phone becomes nothing more than a piece of glass. But the 200 hours of work time you sacrifice for that piece of glass won't come back. The system constantly whispers that you are incomplete. If you own this, you will be happier. This lie keeps you on a hamster wheel. For the wheel to turn, you constantly have to sacrifice your own time. Every unnecessary item you buy is actually a bar you add to your cell. Part 8. Sociological collapse, the society of stolen time. The cost of time theft isn't just financial. Even if we aren't aware of it, this theft gnaws at our souls. Unfortunately, a father whose time is stolen cannot find the energy to tell his child a bedtime story. A mother whose time is stolen cannot find the space to discover her own potential. We are poorer in free time than ever before in human history. Technology was supposed to liberate us, right? Washing machines, dishwashers, computers, all were meant to save time. But the exact opposite happened. So why? Because to own these things, we work more, stress more, and live less. Because every second gained was taken back by the system for more production and consumption without our consent. A society whose time is stolen becomes becomes shallow. It cannot think. It cannot produce art. It focuses only on survival due to human and societal anatomy. And it is always easier to manage a mass in survival mode. Part 9. Awareness. The first step out of the matrix. What I've explained so far might seem dark to you, but you cannot walk to the light without seeing the darkness. The purpose of this video isn't to depress you, but perhaps to wake you up if you're in a deep sleep. The moment you realize something, its power over you starts to diminish. Please stop looking at money as paper that needs to be saved. Look at money as units of your freedom. When you buy something that gives you short-term happiness, ask yourself this: is these shoes worth 2 days of my life? Is this car worth wasting years for? Trust me, this perspective will radically change your spending habits and your outlook on life. Reject the definition of success the system imposes on you. Real success isn't how many things you own, but how much of your own time, which is impossible to compensate for in your flowing life, you can command. Part 10. Closing. Time sovereignty. So, you watched this video to the end. What will you do now? Will you continue running faster in the rat race, or will you learn to get off the wheel? The way to reclaim your own time, which you spend or want to spend for a whim or a moment of happiness, is to stop treating money as a tool for consumption and transform it into a tool for freedom. That means investment. It means owning assets. It means building systems that work for you even while you sleep, even if you do nothing. In future videos, we will cover in the finest detail how to reclaim this stolen time and how to turn the system's weapon against itself using the stock market and investment vehicles. Your life isn't a simulation, but your time is a battlefield. The winners of this war won't be those with the most money, but those who possess the most of their own time. Your clock is still ticking. Use it wisely. If I've managed to shed even a little light on the truth, the secret plans, and how to stop losing the most valuable time of our lives, please like this video. Let's discuss your ideas in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for much more. I wish for you to be time rich, not just money rich. Goodbye.